Hey everybody, how are you today? Welcome back into the closet.
I swear every time.
We're kicking it on our desk.
Our desk?
That's really a deck.
Our desk?
Our deck.
You said desk.
I wasn't thinking straight and I got the S in there instead of a C because there's dogs barking and there's woodpeckers pecking.
We're outside again because we liked it so much. So there you go. We're out in the elements. So yeah, dogs, woodpeckers, who knows what there's roosters out here.
There
Did you
is a
hear Ricky
rooster.
the rooster?
Yes.
Y'all, there's a rooster. And before we moved into this house, when there's a farm like off yonder in our backyard, I don't know how far away this farm is.
It's a good ways away.
But I still hear all the animals, okay? Well, I didn't know. I thought roosters only cock-a-doodle-dood in the mornings. That is not the case at all. This rooster, every day, every afternoon, I'm sitting out here on this desk or deck
Clever, I see what you did there.
about, I don't know, 2:30 to 3:30 is usually when I chill out here and do my social media stuff. That Ricky the rooster, and yes, I named it.
Ricky.
It used to be called, what did I used to call it? Something else, but then I realized roosters are boys.
They are, yeah.
Ricky goes off all the time. Afternoon, morning, and I just heard him just now. And
Ricky's mouthy.
It is 7:40 p.m. So
He's warming up for the morning.
there you go. It is a myth that roosters only crow in the morning, or maybe it was never a myth. Maybe it was just something that I thought.
It's something I'm sure that a lot of people think.
But I was wrong.
You named the squirrel too.
Sammy the squirrel, which I have not seen in a little bit.
He's probably dead.
And then last year we had a bunch of birds, and I had names for them, and I can't remember them though.
Right. They'll be back as soon as we break out some bird feed.
But I don't think I remember their names. I'll have to rename them. But I do have Ricky the rooster and Sammy the squirrel.
And we have airplanes and four-wheelers that we may hear during this broadcast
And there's a shooting range.
off into the distance.
Right. So there's a shooting range, there's a farm, there is a small little airport where they practice flying small aircraft.
Mallory's airport.
Right.
It's way across the creek.
I know, but they fly right over our house.
They do. It's way over there.
Yeah.
And there's a farm over there which might double as the gun range. Who knows? It's a farm.
I don't know. But you'll hear guns shooting. And before I knew there was a shooting range over there, I heard gunshots one day and it freaked me the freak out.
It freaked you the freak out.
Freaked me the freak out.
It freaked you out.
Yes. But now we understand our surroundings. So everybody, if you hear weird noises, it's because we're outside. So here we go. What are we talking about?
We're talking about gun ranges and birds and
No,
dogs.
we already talked about that. I mean, what are we talking about
How
today?
terrible that Wonder Woman is on your shirt. She does not look anything like Wonder Woman. She looks like, I don't know.
What is wrong with my Wonder Woman?
I don't know. It just does. That's not what I picture as a woman, Wonder Woman.
You know what? Mind your own. Okay, I'm not criticizing what you have on.
Oh, I'm not criticizing it. The shirt looks great on you. So I can have my opinion about Wonder Woman.
Okay, fine. Move on. What are we talking about?
Oh, we're going to talk about this thing I saw today that popped up. And it's basically we're going to call it sleep versus sex. The battle between sleep and sex.
Okay.
And talk about who wins the battle between sleep and sex. I think it's probably a common topic that's not talked about in many homes, but is a topic that is silent in the background. You know what I'm saying? Because people like to sleep
Right. But
and people
also
like to have sex.
True. So what do you mean which one wins?
Well, which wins out? And that's
It
what we're
depends
going
on
to
the
talk
night.
about. Well, let me read
Okay,
this.
go
This is
ahead.
an article, and I'm going to go ahead and give. I'm going to credit the Chive, because that's where it was found. Let's see here. What would you rather have? Sleep or sex? You think the answer would be easy, and depending on how old you are, where you are in your life, and who your partner is, you might be inclined to pick sex over sleep any day. You'd be surprised, however, how often people pick sleep. According to this survey by Mattress Warehouse.
Oh my gosh,
Just
we are
kidding.
not.
I'm just kidding. It's Mattress
Oh.
Advisor. It's more often than you'd expect that people pick sleep over sex. And I've got charts here
But we
pretty
can't see 'em.
interesting things. Yeah, you can't see them. It's a podcast. We're going to have to explain them and debate it. Or not debate it. Just
Talk about it.
talk about it. On this chart, it shows the activity intersection of sleep and sex frequency, which that doesn't mean anything. But this chart's by relationship. So people who are in a relationship, average nightly hours sleep, 6.9 hours for people in a relationship.
Okay.
Average monthly days having sex, 8.7.
People are only having sex 8 days a month?
Yes, that's what it says.
That's bullcrap.
On average, people that are in a relationship.
Really?
On
That's
average.
do you feel I feel like that's low.
Well, I don't know. Let's think about a month. And in this chart, those only
A month has 30 days or
Yeah,
31.
This chart's showing me 24. I wonder if they're counting the period in there.
Okay, so let's do 24 days.
Yeah, because this is showing. See on there how it shows 24 days down there.
Okay, so
Which is
let's
weird.
do 24. Take a
So-
week out. That's still
That's 3 weeks. Yeah,
well, maybe.
that's
That's
about,
2 times
yeah,
a week.
2 times a week. I think that's probably normal. Maybe not even normal for some people. Some
Man,
people I
that's
talk to,
crazy.
I would think it'd be more like 3 is what I would throw out there.
3 times a week.
But maybe we're more active than other folks.
Well, and 2, I feel like it depends.
this stage
it
of
depends
life.
on. It depends on. Each month, I feel like is different because different things go on. Like this month for us, it's been crazy. We've had, like I said before, graduations, family coming in, stuff like that. So it depends on the month. If you have low key nothing going on, or there may be a month you go out of town. Shoot, if we go out of town on a weekend, we could knock out 4 right there.
True.
You know what I mean? I think it just all depends on the circumstances and what's going on. Is it a time in your life where you're stressed or you're anxious? Some people deal with it differently. Maybe you would have more sex if you're stressed or anxious, but I know I tend to pull back because I can't focus.
Yeah, I think that's probably the case in most people's situation. The more stressed you get, your mind's occupied,
Yeah.
which they talk about in here too, is the correlation of people who have more sex or on the upper end of it
Upper end
are
of what?
having sex per week or per month are the same people who are more satisfied with their sleep.
Well,
'Cause
that's
if you're
I
not-
can understand
if
that.
you're not feeling good, if you're not sleeping well, and stress, you're easily it's easier for you to take on stress and not be able to cope with it, and it's easier for you to tire out, or just be so distracted that, like you said, you're not. You know what I mean? So if you're getting all that rest, you're satisfied with your rest, you pretty much have better energy.
Right.
You know.
But I see where you're coming from, but I think that a lot of times, you may have good intentions on doing it, but then you get tired at night and sleep wins.
Oh yeah. There's many times where we both looked at each other and had totally been flirting around, and like it's going that way, and we both just like hit a wall and go. One of us goes to the other. Well, we could hit this up tomorrow. What do you think? Can we hit this up tomorrow? And then it's like, yeah, we don't want to. We don't want to have like just to do it to do it.
But
We
then
don't have, like, a slot,
sometimes the opposite
Carry
happens.
on.
It's like sometimes it's like I am so tired. You're like me too, and then the next thing you know, we're going up to bed, and it's something pops up. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sometimes those are the best. The next chart down here is the same thing, but it's single. If they're single,
Ooh.
average nightly hours of sleep 7.1 hours. Average monthly days having sex 6.2 days.
So if you're
So
single,
you're having less sex if you're single, which kind of makes sense if you think about it. First, you're thinking, no, you're getting all kinds of action.
Yeah.
That's not true.
yeah, probably not.
You know what I mean? Unless you have like a steady side piece that you're always just hooking up with when you get horny. But just think how inconvenient it is if you live alone and
Right.
you don't have a girlfriend or a boyfriend, and you got to rely on somebody that's, you know what I mean? You got to find somebody, and then you got to
Right.
hook up, and then you date somebody, so you might have sex for 3 months, a lot, and then you break up and you have sex for 2 months.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty clear on this thing. Beating it is not counting towards your sex.
You know what?
Nor-
I just
nor it
thought of
should
that.
be.
I just thought about that a second ago. I was going to ask you if that counted, if that played into it.
I'm going to say no. No.
So getting your spank bank out, it
No,
doesn't count.
No, it's got to be between,
Yeah,
So,
I got you.
spank bang doesn't help you any.
No. Do you think women have spank banks? I don't really.
I think women don't. I think women are less likely to have a spank bank. I think women aren't as visual as men. Men are totally visual most of the time.
Yeah.
That's where they get excited about everything. Cars.
You have cars in
women.
your spank bank?
No, I'm just saying, like, you
Yes,
see
you
things.
do.
Maybe 2 or 3, but there's women on them.
Women on cars?
Yeah, naked,
Uh-huh.
sprawled out.
Okay.
Stuff like that. Just
All right.
kidding. I don't have cars in my spank bank.
All right.
Here's the deal. I don't think women have spank banks as much because they're not as visual and they don't need them as much. I think women aren't going to beat it or stroke it or flip the beam
Oh, gosh.
or whatever
Okay.
it is.
Okay, JMR.
Unless they like get really horny, they find themselves alone. And I could totally speculating because I'm not a woman. And they're just like, I'm feeling it. So I'm either going to, you might jump into something that's not necessarily a spank bank. I think women will get on and look at porn or whatever, but they don't keep like a.
No.
You know
That's what
I
I'm
mean?
saying. I don't keep a stash. I mean, what
Right.
am I going to...
Why would you anyway
Why- I
this
mean,
day?
I-
Most men don't because you
Right.
just get online, you look at something if
Right.
you want to, and you get the business taken care of, and you move on so you can actually be a productive part of society. Because if you don't get it done, you may not be a productive part of society.
Right.
You may not get things done the way you need to get things
And back
done.
to sleep. I feel like I do sleep better when that happens. Like last night, I slept so good.
Yeah, I do too. I definitely do. There's some release that's there.
Yes.
But you know what? Speaking of spanking it, that release is not the same.
No?
No, not for me.
No, it's not the same.
You know what I'm not saying that it's even. I'm not saying that even if it's an amazing orgasm or I just need to get off. There's something about knowing you didn't connect with somebody in that way.
Yeah.
Physically and get the same level of endorphins and
It's
release.
a different level of satisfaction.
Right,
I mean,
right.
the job got done, everything got taken care of.
But your ego didn't get it, where you can totally relax.
Yeah.
Because men need that pretty badly. They need to
don't-
know.
I don't think women need that as much, but I know where you're
I
coming
think
from.
women are okay with probably a lot of other compliments and things. To
Yeah, I don't think that's part of stroking our ego. We do need our ego stroked, but not in that type of way. You're right.
Dudes need to like. There's something in there subconsciously that's like you don't feel confident if you're not conquering something regularly.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. And but women do want to feel wanted. Like, I
Well,
want
sure,
you to
yeah.
want me sexually. At least that's just me.
Right.
You know
I think
what I
that's
mean?
everybody. In
We
the
do need
relationship.
compliments. We do need, yeah. So I agree with that. Anyway, anything else? So we got single people, 7-something hours of sleep, 6 times a month they're having it going on.
Having it going on, baby.
What's the other categories? You're either with somebody or you're not, right?
Okay, yeah, but it just gets into satisfied sleep. So, average monthly days having sex by sleep satisfaction. That's what I was just talking about. So, it says extremely satisfied. Let's see here. Okay, overall sleep satisfaction. Extremely satisfied. Only 7.9% of people in this survey were extremely satisfied with their sleep.
I don't know many people who are satisfied with their sleep.
But those 7.9%, their average monthly days having sex per month was 10 days.
Huh.
So they're extremely satisfied in there, and their sex life's at 10,
Gotcha.
with as many as they're having a month. Okay.
Yeah.
Very satisfied, 26.2%, 9 days.
Okay.
Moderately satisfied, 31.4%. That's the bulk of people. 8.3 days. That's what they're going for in the study.
So the more sex you have, the better you're going to sleep, is what
Or
I'm...
the more you sleep.
The more
and are rested.
satisfied, you're more satisfied with your sleep.
Right. The more satisfied with your sleep, the more sex you're going to have.
Oh, it's that way.
Yes.
I was thinking the more sleep you had, the more
That's what it is. It's the more sex you have. Remember that. The more sex you have, the better sleep. you
Shut up. That's not what this study is saying.
It's not saying one or the other. I think you could look at it either way. But my mind tends to go towards if your body's not rested and functioning well, you're less likely to do anything well.
That's very true.
You're less likely to do your job well, your mental functions, your school, whatever it is. You're not as likely to do that. So you're probably not as likely to be attentive to sex or what it takes to get there.
I agree with that, but on the flip side, like I just said a minute ago, if I do that, usually that night's sleep is so good. So therefore, the more you have it, the better you're going to sleep, in my opinion. So that's just me. Like
I think that's true too.
I mean, sure, I'm sure there's nights that it happens that I don't sleep very well, but like usually it knocks me out. I'm out for the count. I'm good to go.
I would say most people that have sex and it's satisfying sex, we could flip this study the other way. We should have a chart of satisfying
Ooh.
sex
Yeah, 'cause you can-
and sleep results, or satisfying
Yeah.
versus satisfying sleep. Because here's the deal. I think a lot of people probably are in situations where maybe the sex isn't satisfying.
Yes.
You hear about a lot of women that don't get off. Or that
Yes.
just do it to get him off.
Yes.
And they're like, you're so amazing,
And they're not
and
feeling
then
a thing
they're just
because
like, oh, thank God I put them away for the night. You know what I mean?
Because they've become disconnected, or something is off, or
Right.
maybe they're dating and you hook up and you're like, oh my gosh, this is. I mean, I can't imagine, because I mean, you and I have been together for so long, so I haven't ever been out there dating and where you're dating a guy and then you all hook up. You know what I'm saying? You have sex and you're like, that was seriously not good. Like I had to
That
fake
physical
my
chemistry,
like.
yeah.
I mean, have I ever faked my way through I'm not saying I faked my way through any of our sessions necessarily, but I may
You've
have
got
embellished
through
a
'em.
little bit because maybe I
Sure.
got tired. Maybe I started not feeling good. We talked about that the other night.
Yeah,
maybe you
yeah,
started
yeah.
drinking and hit you.
I'm
just
fine with
saying,
that.
I'm talking about like on a dating scene where you're just like, oh, that was terrible.
I could see that happening
Oh, I can see it happening
a
100%.
lot because there's that physical chemistry. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? You got to have that physical chemistry. And I think people don't take that into account because
Yeah.
you're shamed as a child or you're shamed as growing up, and you're like, that shouldn't be important. Well, you know what? It is important.
No,
it's
it
like
is
telling somebody
important.
you can't eat. You shouldn't like feel like you need to eat.
Well, you want to
That's
eat, and
freaking
sometimes you want to
crazy.
eat bad things, and sometimes you want to
Hey,
get
I see
freaky
what you're
freaky.
saying
You know what I'm
there.
saying?
Yes.
But like, you could be out with a guy. I could imagine, like I said, I've never really had a date after you, whatever. But like, he could be super hot, and I'm just saying he because I'm telling the story.
Right.
He could be super hot, attractive, good job, drives a nice car, has money, paid for everything, total gentleman, and you kind of felt like a little connection there. You went home, or maybe you did. Maybe you're on your second or third date. All that's in line, and then it's finally
You knock
time.
boots.
Yeah, and you're like, well, he did not live up to what my expectation was going to be.
Right. He just didn't, or he might be super selfish
Yeah.
in bed.
But there could also be a flip side of that. You could go with the guy, maybe you meet him that night in a bar or something, and you've had a little bit to drink, and it's like, man, he's not that attractive. He's really not a type that I'd be attracted to, but for some reason, you end up at his house, and, things go down, you're like, holy crap, and your mind's blown.
Right. Yeah.
Your
I
mind
was
is
gonna say that a
blown.
minute ago.
Like,
was
I
waiting
would
for us to get through the
not
one.
be attracted to this person, but
Yeah.
something did something
I
right.
think that happens a lot.
Yeah,
I think people like
right.
that happens, or better yet, that's all there is. Say that you. I think people hook up with someone, they have an insane sexual chemistry. They like, and it's amazing at first. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it might be because they're having an affair they're going out on their husband or wife with someone because things aren't great at home, or they're dating and they're just super like, it's been so long since I've been with someone, so you just start settling in a way.
Right.
But the chemistry sexually is amazing. Nothing else is clicking. You don't believe the same things. You don't really want to be around each other that much, but the hookup's awesome. And then you end up being with that person,
Right.
and the sex gets less and less satisfying as you're together and you live life together. Because, it is going to be
changes.
more exciting for the first however long when you're just either sneaking around, or even if you're not, say you're both two straight up single people that meet up and you
But
just
it's the beginning.
it's the beginning, man. It's probably great. I don't know. My beginning was a long time ago, but I know I have friends and people that the beginning's pretty fun.
So
And I
what are
think
you
that's-
saying right now?
That's why people. What do you mean? What am I saying?
You just said the beginning was a long time ago.
You know what I'm saying? The beginning. It's still fun. I'm not saying that.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
It's very exciting because we keep it exciting. We keep it real.
Yeah, we do.
So, but I think it's interesting, all the different variables and how our brains work as humans, and we make up, like, we decide things on our own mentally.
Yeah.
Like you're saying, you decide, like you said it perfectly. He's totally not my type.
Right.
Well, we assume something's not our type because we decide that from just looking at whatever.
Well, and that's what, and, you know, at the beginning, that's all you have, really. You
It
know,
is.
you could, you know, you could go out on a date, on a blind date, or you could just meet somebody while you're out. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And be like, oh gosh, we're talking. Now we're having drinks. He just bought my dinner. I kind of fell into this.
Right.
And then you end up, and then. So what I guess I'm saying is, don't, you know,
Don't judge a book by its cover.
don't judge a book by its cover, but don't count out somebody right away if you don't feel like they're exactly what you're looking for. Because I think some people get so picky about what is. I'm picking apart single people, and I shouldn't be because I haven't been single really necessarily. But I see some of my single friends having this list of, well, I want this, like they're going to order off a menu how they want their person that they're
think
going to
that's
be
a-
with to be.
yeah.
And I think that you need to be careful doing that because you could be missing out on somebody that you really connect with. Maybe they don't have blonde hair like you like. Maybe they don't have blue eyes like you like. Maybe they already have a kid and you really didn't want that. But you could be missing out on an amazing relationship if you just open up your mind and just kind of let life happen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Unless it's something that they have a trait that you just can't live with. Maybe
Well,
you
yeah,
hooked up
you
and the sex
know.
was amazing, but they just have this trait where you're just like, I can't be with this
They're
person
like
because I can't. Like for me,
satanic symbol above their headboard. Yeah.
honestly, this is very, very petty. And maybe I already talked to you about this. I don't know if I was talking to you about this or Chaz about this. I don't remember. But we were talking about when we were, I don't know if it, somebody for me, like if I were single and I were dating, honestly, and this is so petty and people are going to think I'm a horrible person. I could not be with someone that chews tobacco. Period. Point blank. Never gonna happen.
I don't think that's petty.
Never gonna happen.
mean,
Like
it's
we
just
can go out on
something
a
that-
great date. I could never know that you've chewed. We could hook up. It could be great. And then the next day you put on a big old thing and you have a big thing in your mouth and like you're spitting. I'm done. Bye. Peace. Deuces. I'm out. You're a nice guy. It's too bad that you have that nasty habit.
Any girl with a big thing in her mouth that's spitting, I'm out. too.
No, but I mean, do you know what I'm saying? And I know that's crazy. And like, if you right now told me you're thinking about chewing, I would never. I obviously wouldn't leave you. We have too much of a life, but I wouldn't kiss you again. I would go the rest of our lives without kissing. And I don't want to see you or be around you when you're doing it. Don't bring a nasty cup around me.
Why are you talking to me
Because
like
if
that?
you did, I would pour it on you, all over you, and I would kick you into the shower.
Hey, I don't dip.
You dip.
You're yelling at
I
me.
did. No, I'm just saying I'm very passionate,
On
and
the
I don't know why.
podcast.
And I'm not
Yeah,
being
I don't either.
judgmental. Like, if you want to do it, but we aren't going to be together. I almost fell out of my chair.
To me, you're the freaking red man.
Do you have something like that with like a woman if you were single? Be honest. I just was, and I know a bunch of people who chew, and I love them to death. They're great people.
Yeah, I think a big
My brother's one of them, but I'm just saying, you know, it's gross to me.
Yes, I understand.
What is it?
What is it?
Yeah.
Well, nowadays, if I were out dating, you know what you have to watch out for? I don't think so much here. A big flag would. Well, I don't want to say that. It's not cool. But it would be. 'Cause
What?
I'd want to know. Yeah. Let's see. What could it be?
I know what you're thinking, and that's not where I'm going. I'm talking about like a habit. Like a habit or a trait about someone, kind of like
I wouldn't want to date a smoker.
a smoker.
I wouldn't want.
I could
to.
date a smoker.
Yeah, I mean, I could date them, but I wouldn't like. I don't know. Because then I might start smoking. I don't want to.
I mean, I'm talking about something that repulses you.
Repulses me.
Like if you see a woman doing this.
Boosh.
Oh, okay. Boosh.
Boosh.
So you like the
I like a well-manicured lady
okay.
friend.
Okay, so that's a no-go. So you could be out on a date with a hot girl. Get back to her place. Things go crazy. And then it's like, oh my gosh, what is all of that?
There'd have to be a.
Would you
few-
go through with it?
Yeah, I'd go through a couple of times.
You're a champ.
just to see if it's just a phase, if it's just a phase for her. Or
Like
if it's
maybe
just
she wasn't planning on hooking up and she hadn't shaved
maybe-
for a while.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe she's in
You-
dormant state.
You could say, is this a normal situation?
Can we at least go to the airplane strip? What is landing strip?
Landing
Can we
strip.
go to at least that?
I don't even like that, but that's not me. It's about you.
Shave under the hood, just to leave whatever up there, but just shave under the hood.
So nasty.
Anyway,
So that's your thing.
I think that's one of my things. I don't think I'm too picky.
I don't think you're too picky.
I
I'm not
think-
too picky. I just don't like chewers. I mean, I like them, but I would never want to be with one. Like, physically.
And you know what's crazy is we talk, and it's like if you were really out there and you meet people, it's almost like you can't control people you're attracted to.
Yeah.
And then who knows what habits they have or what they are and what you overlook to be with the person you're truly attracted to.
I guess that's true. Never say never.
You know what I'm saying?
I just don't foresee myself. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to be with anybody else unless you leave me for a younger woman, which, you know, we joke about that all the time, but it could happen.
Right, it could.
If that were the
Any day
case,
now.
I'm not going to be alone. So, yeah, I'd be back on the market. I'd be looking around, and you never know.
They could chew. You
They
never
could,
know.
but it would be really hard for me to be okay with that.
No, I
I
get
would
it.
be one of those people we talked about last night, and I would try to change them, even though I just preached that you can't.
You can't.
But
If
I'd be
they're
like,
chew, you'd have
listen,
to be like,
dude,
sorry.
please, I'll like trade. I'll do like, can you just stop? Like, could you just do another habit? But if somebody got with me and were like, I really don't like your wine drinking habit at night, it's,
Right.
I'm bye.
They're
Peace
like,
out,
I
because
really
I'm not
prefer
gonna.
you just have a glass of wine on the weekends.
That's not.
And you'd be
happening.
like, what?
And
You're
so
telling me
that's
about my
not fair,
habits
right?
for?
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
would
that's
never
not
want to do
cool.
that to somebody. Just like I said last night, I would never want to try to do that. But I
I don't know what would
don't
be
know.
repulsive other than.
I guess I'm just a horrible person.
No, I think that's fair. I don't. If a woman chewed, I would definitely not want that.
I know there's probably women out there that
There's
do.
stuff
but it's
that I'm sure. I mean,
more
I
odd.
could name a whole lot of things. We could go up to Walmart and I could check a list as long as you want of things that are no goes for sure. But I'm assuming that the person's to start with in the zone. You know what I mean? Like they're attractive, they're in shape.
right.
If
I
they're
know
not in
there's.
shape, I'm not gonna.
I know
I'm not
there's
gonna-
things-
I'm not gonna date them.
I understand
And I
what
don't
you're
mean
saying.
great shape. I don't mean like you shape. I
Oh
don't
my
mean like
gosh.
a personal trainer ripped like solid shape. They don't. That's not. I'm not that like. Just don't be a sloth
Sloth.
and frumpy and
Okay, so say
Whatever.
everything on the physical is the up and up. You know what I mean? But then there's a habit or something, like you said, underneath that you can't see, that when it's revealed, you're like, whoa, okay. Right?
yeah. There's some things there could be there.
Yeah.
There's some things. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hijack your.
Should have. I go to dirty places. Like, I go to things. That
We
I
do
think-
not expect any less from you, JMR.
I think of things
This
that are
is
like
normal.
really would freak me out. You know what I mean? Like oversized clitoris. Things like that I'm like, okay, I'm out, man. I'm out. You are an amazing person. You're beautiful and you're sweet. But this, I don't know, man. I just don't know. I just don't know what to do with this.
I don't know what to do with this. That's funny.
And that's that. Other than that, I mean,
So no boosh, no oversized clitoris.
no meth. Can't do meth.
You probably would be able to tell that.
Um,
Any other drug he's fine with, just not meth.
yeah, I mean anything else, you know, or no heroin or meth. Okay.
So no hardcore drugs.
No hardcore drugs.
I get you on that.
I'm not real picky. Of course, I'm also not going to be dating anybody, so it's hard to really think about it. Other
You never
than
know.
Grotesque. I don't plan on it.
You don't plan
And
on it.
my hopes would be that I don't have to, because that seems like a scene that I do not want to be a
I
part
don't
of.
want to be a part of that scene either.
So,
We're just living in
La La Land.
La La Land. Right.
And we in no way, shape, or form judging single people or even married people. We're throwing our 2 cents because
How is this judging? It's not judging anybody.
no, it's not. You're
We're not
right.
being judgy.
We're not being judgy at all. What was the thing we said? I can't remember. I had something good to say at some point during this,
I don't
and I
know.
lost it. Obviously,
I probably interrupted you and you forgot it.
probably.
Did you hear the four-wheelers?
There's your 4-wheeler.
Here we go.
Just to finish up the podcast.
I'm sorry that I hijacked your study.
What are you talking about?
Well, we were talking about the study and then I went off tangent.
No, we were. Let me see if there's any other points in this study that are worth mentioning. I just thought it was an interesting.
Interesting study it is. Where did you find it again? Oh, the Chive.
Yeah, well, it was
Today was Tuesday
actually
on the
I
Chive.
was.
Was today Titty Tuesday on the Chive?
There's no such thing as Titty Tuesday.
I always say that, don't I?
Yes, it's
Well,
a
maybe
good.
maybe
It's a
there
good
should
thought.
be. I think
but
there really is, but maybe it's just not on the Chive. What is Tuesday on the Chive?
I'll have to look in a minute because I wasn't
Oh,
on
acting like
Chive.
you
it was on
don't know
Twitter,
what
and it was an
Tuesday
article.
is on the Chive.
Here's something here. Let's see.
Changing the subject.
No, I'll go back to Titty Tuesday. They didn't Titty Tuesday. Gap Monday. Gaps are Monday. Mind the Gap Monday.
Mind the Gap Monday.
Hump Day is Wednesday. Things that bounce Thursday. I think that's
Things that
it.
bounce Thursday.
Things that bounce Thursday.
So there's a bunch of bouncy balls.
It's gifts of things that bounce.
Anything that bounces.
No.
I didn't think so.
Respondents who were satisfied with their sleep had sex 3 more days a month than respondents who were dissatisfied with their sleep.
Okay.
People, or you could say it this way, the way we said it. People who had 3 more days of sex, 3 more days a month of sex, 3 more days of sex a month, I can talk,
Come on now.
were more satisfied with their sleep than
Okay.
people who didn't have 3 more days of sex.
So what we're saying is go have sex, sleep better.
Sleep and have sex, like
Or have sex and sleep. However you want to do it.
average weekly hours lost to sex. On average, people reported losing 54.3 minutes of sleep to have sex on a typical day.
54-minute sex session?
No. They lost 54 minutes
Yeah.
on average.
A day?
No. A week.
Oh.
54.3 minutes a day.
That's what I
No,
said. A day.
54.3 minutes of sleep to having sex.
You are all over the place. I don't understand what you're saying, and probably nobody else does.
Average
either.
weekly hour of sleep lost to sex, 54.3. So when you add up all the
week.
minutes a week that you've lost to having sex, so what they're saying is when you have those,
So 53, and we're talking about if you, okay. 53, if you have sex 6 times, that's 8-minute sex sessions.
who's having sex 6 times a week?
Oh, that's right. We talked about that. That's right. 3 times a week? Was it 3?
We came up with 2.
28
So-
minutes. Okay, that's about right.
Yeah.
All right, I got you now. I'm on board.
And that's not like accounting for cleanup, prep
Yeah.
time,
Yeah,
spooning afterwards,
that doesn't
or
count.
crying if you're
know.
a crier after sex. You know that you might keep you up for a little while.
Oh,
If
gosh.
you're a after sex snacker.
I am not. I go to sleep. Anyway, this was a good study. I liked it. Is that all you got?
Sleep or sex, willingness to give up sleep for sex by gender.
I bet women
If you're-
would give. I bet women would not give up as much. They really
You're
want
correct.
their sleep more.
There's
I know.
there's 4 different categories, and it's if you're exhausted after a long day, 91.5% men to 76.4% women. So men give it up. If you have important work meeting the next day, men are still willing, more so than women by about 10%. If you have a morning workout scheduled, it's really close on this one, only 4% difference, but men are more willing. If your partner is in the mood, but you aren't, men are more willing
yeah.
than women. So
Men will give it up for pretty much anything. So women are a little more hard. If I'm tired, I'm telling you. Now the rest of the stuff, a workout, a meeting, anything like that, unless I'm stressed about the meeting. If I'm stressed or I'm tired, I'm probably not going to do it.
right, and I'm
Or
at
if I
the
have a
point in
big
my
day the
life
next
where
day.
I'm okay with that.
If I have a big day,
Because
the
I
next
know
day.
that forcing it just to get quantity is stupid.
Yeah.
Because the quality of it is so much
Exactly.
better if
That's a
we're
very
rested.
good point. Because if you
But through my
pushed it,
20s and early 30s,
you
mid
pushed
30s,
it. I know.
yeah, I just wanted to get that count up. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? You just
yeah.
want to get that count up, and I think women do the same thing because they don't want to be freaky and they don't want to really have a lot of fun with it. They're not as comfortable maybe as having fun. And they're really not enjoying it for themselves. So they're like, we have sex all the time. Well, they bang them out, 3
Yeah.
or 4 times a week, so they don't have to.
right.
You know what I mean? So
Right.
he's always drained, which is a good strategy because the dude's drained. He's
Yeah.
not thinking about it or trying to. He's just like,
Yeah. But I think sometimes, though, if you go into it and you're like, I'm tired, and then you start forcing it, you're 100% not gonna get it. Because now you've made me mad. Now you made me feel bad. You make me feel guilty, and so it's not gonna happen.
Right,
This is
right.
coming from me because I'm.
No, I've been
that's
there
the-
with you
that's the
before.
type
I
of person
understand
I
that.
am.
I think
but
there's a lot of-
if you say to me, if I say to you, Jeff, I'm really tired tonight. I know it was a night we were kind of planning on. Sometimes we plan on it, sometimes we don't. But I just can't tonight about it. And you're like, okay, babe, that's fine. It's no big deal. No, then I'm like, it could
I've experienced
You've
it both ways.
experienced that, right?
Oh gosh, yes.
when you're like, I thought we weren't doing this, but you made
Yeah.
me feel so
Oh, yeah.
comfortable. And sometimes
Right.
you say that and we don't do anything.
And then you got people out there that just have like, rape role play fetishes. Who when they say no and want you to freaking drag them up the stairs and smack them around. And,
That is another podcast. We
it
should
is
talk
another
about
podcast.
fetishes
Yeah.
some
Let's do it.
podcast.
Yes.
I need to have a few drinks before I talk about that, though.
Okay.
I mean, unless you don't want me to, and if you're wanting me to share mine.
No, I want.
If you want me, you already know them, but
Drink
I'm
it
just saying,
up.
if you want me to share them
let's
with everyone
do,
else,
Let's do shots and fetishes night.
you already know all of mine. Or do you?
I don't know. It's exciting. It's fun. Don't tell me. Let's find out on a podcast and see how it works.
All right.
All right. Peace out, y'all.